All right, let's dive into the psychology of wealth. And I mean, forget the spreadsheets and the stock tips just for a second. We're going to get into the core mental frameworks that seem to separate the truly wealthy from, well, pretty much everyone else. Because it turns out it's not really about what's in their wallet, it's about what's going on in their head.
So, what do you think it is? What's the real difference? A fancy degree, a lucky break, maybe being born into the right family? I mean, sure, those things definitely don't hurt, but the sources we're digging into today suggest the real separator is something invisible, something that quietly controls every financial decision.
And that's it, right there. The fundamental difference is how they think about money. It's a series of mental shifts, really, that completely reframe the entire game of earning, spending, and risk. So, let's break down some of the most powerful of these shifts.
Okay, our first big shift is all about earning, and it really pits two completely different mindsets against each other, a proactive one versus a passive one. You could almost call it the action mindset versus the lottery mindset.
Think about it. For a lot of us, the default setting is passive, you know? We wait for our boss to decide we deserve a raise, we hope for a nice year-end bonus, we cross our fingers for some kind of lucky windfall. We're basically just waiting for our number to get called.
And here's where we see that difference in stark relief. For most of us, the deal is simple. We trade our time for money. So the only way to earn more is to get a better job that pays us more for our time. But the wealthy mindset just throws that whole equation out the window. Time isn't the variable anymore. The focus shifts entirely to solving problems. Suddenly, your income isn't tied to how many hours you work, but to the size and scale of the problem you can solve.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It really gets to the philosophical heart of this first shift. It's about taking total, radical responsibility. This idea that your financial situation isn't something that just happens to you. It's a direct result of the value you are actively creating.
So that leads us perfectly into our second shift, which builds right on top of that problem-solving idea. This one is all about how you perceive the word problem itself. Is it a roadblock or is it an opportunity?
For most people, hearing the word problem triggers a negative reaction. It's a headache, right? It's a source of anxiety. It's this big obstacle that just popped up in your path. Our natural instinct is to get away from it, to avoid it, or at the very least, complain about it.
But here's the pivot. The wealthy mindset completely reframes a problem from a threat into an opportunity. Every single problem out there, from something small like a leaky faucet to something huge like inefficient global supply chains, it represents a need that isn't being met. And if you can be the one to meet that need, you get paid for it. Suddenly, problems aren't roadblocks anymore. They're signposts pointing you directly towards where the money is.
And that's the real secret sauce here. Wealth isn't the goal. It's actually just the side effect. It's like the receipt you get for creating a ton of value for other people. So if you want more wealth, this mindset tells you to stop chasing money and start hunting for bigger, juicier problems to solve.
Okay, this brings us to our third big shift, the whole approach to financial risk. And this one is huge because honestly, this is the one that keeps most people stuck. You know, there's a psychological principle called loss aversion, and it basically says that the pain of losing $100 feels way, way worse than the joy of gaining $100. This fear is so powerful that it pushes us to be incredibly cautious. We keep our money in a savings account, earning next to nothing. We avoid investing. We never start that business we dream about. We're just so terrified of losing that we never actually give ourselves a real chance to win.
So that fear-based view sees risk as nothing but a danger. But the wealthy mindset reframes risk as a necessary tool. Now, this isn't about reckless gambling. It's about taking smart, calculated risks, where the potential upside is just massive compared to the downside. And the key to making that happen is a powerful concept called leverage.
So let's be clear about what leverage really means here. It's simply using resources you don't personally own to amplify your results. So when you get a mortgage to buy a rental property, you're using the bank's money, other people's money, or OPM, to get an asset. When you hire an employee, you're using other people's time, or OPT, to grow your business. It's a strategic tool that lets you scale your efforts way beyond what you could ever do on your own.
And that brings us to our final, and you could argue, most important shift of all. Once you actually have money, what is its purpose? What is it for?
Seriously, just think about it for a second. The last time you got a little extra cash, maybe a tax refund or a bonus from work, what was your very first impulse? To go buy something? Book a trip?
That first thought you have, that reveals everything about your deep-seated beliefs about what money is supposed to do.
To really get this mindset, you have to internalize this one simple distinction. An asset is anything that works for you and puts money into your pocket. Month after month, think a rental property spitting out cash flow or stocks that pay you dividends just for owning them. A liability, on the other hand, is anything that costs you money and takes money out of your pocket. That shiny new car with its payments, insurance, and gas, that's a classic liability. The difference is incredibly simple, but the consequences of not knowing it are massive.
And this, right here, is where the path splits. The wealthy use their money as a tool to buy more assets, more things that will make them more money. Everyone else tends to use their money to buy liabilities, things that look impressive on the outside, but are secretly draining their bank accounts dry.
So when you put it all together, you can see that the psychology of wealth isn't really about luck or some secret formula. It's a chain of conscious mental shifts. First, you start seeing yourself as an active problem solver, not just a time trader. That leads you to see problems as opportunities for profit, not threats. And when you earn money from solving those problems, you use it as a tool to buy more assets, which then generate even more money. It becomes this powerful self-reinforcing cycle.
And that leaves us with one last, really crucial question for you to think about. Looking at these mindset shifts we talked about, which one feels the most unfamiliar? Is it how you think about earning, how you see problems, or how you use money? Because just identifying that one belief, well, that's the very first step to changing it. Thanks for tuning in.